Hello everyone, this is Satya Ramesh. I am recording this video for SQL Maestros. Today we are going to discuss about inner join. This is part 1 of SQL Server Join series. So let's go ahead and see what is inner join. So if you have two data sets and if you apply inner join between those two data sets, so what SQL Server is going to return? SQL Server will return matched records from both the input data sets. For example, if you see this Venn diagram, we have dataset A and we have dataset B. If you apply inner join between these two datasets, SQL Server will return matched records. That is, this common area between these two datasets. This is the common area between these two datasets. Whenever you apply inner join between two tables, SQL Server is going to return matched records. So in case of multiple tables, in case of more than two tables, SQL Server is applying the same thing. It will apply inner join between first two data sets and then it will apply inner join between the first result set and the third input set. So in this case, if you observe, the common area is this one. So if you apply inner join between these three data sets, SQL Server is going to return those common records. So let us see a few more examples about inner join. And whenever, if you see this example, applying inner join between dataset A and dataset B is equal to applying inner join between dataset B and dataset A. So even if you interchange the table order, the result set will not change just because it is inner join. So let us see an example like this. We have table A having two columns which are ID and name, and we also have table B having two columns. First table A have 3 records and table B have 5 records. Let us say we are applying inner join between these two tables. This is the select query which is applying inner join between table A and table B. Whenever we submit this query to SQL Server will first perform Cartesian product between table A and table B, which means a cross join. So a virtual table which joins all the records from table A with table B will get produced. So this is how it looks. Later, SQL Server will apply on filter on top of this virtual table 1 to produce the final output, which is the output of performing inner join between table A and table B. This is how SQL Server works. The top points to be noted here in this particular slide is, if you observe table A, we have one null record in third row and we have one more null record in table B that is also in third row. So even though null and null seems like equal, but in SQL Server nulls cannot be treated equally. Nulls are non-comparable. Null is not comparable with another null. Null is not comparable with another value as well. So SQL Server will ignore nulls in the final output. So similarly, if you observe, we have value 1 here in table 1 and we have value 1 twice in table 2. So whenever you apply inner join between these two data sets, SQL Server will join those two separately, thus producing two separate records. These are the points to be noted. So let's go ahead and dive into a demo. So let us create the setup tables. So if you execute this setup section, we'll be ready with our table A and table B and necessary records inside both the tables. So our tables are ready. So let's go ahead and execute this simple query called, if you observe this query, we are just telling SQL Server, take table A and table B, apply inner join between these two tables and filter on this particular on condition where ID column from table A is equal to ID column from table B. So let me execute this particular query and observe the output result set. So this is the output of performing inner join between these two tables. So let us change the table order access. So first we performed, in this particular query we performed inner join between table A and table B. Now let us perform inner join between table B and table A. So if you execute this particular query, the output is same as earlier. So this proves that inner joining table A and table B is equal to inner joining table B and table A. Let us see how let us execute these two statements together to see how SQL Server actually execute these two queries. Let me turn on execution plan and I executed these two queries together. So if you see the execution plan of these two queries, both the execution plan looks same. So and the performance impact is equal to 50% versus 50%. So there is no performance impact. So even if you interchange the table accessing order here. So let me do one more thing. So if I tell SQL Server to access data in the order we mentioned, for example, if you execute this particular query where we are accessing table A first and table B later, and if you see the execution plan, SQL Server is using table A first and table B next. But in this particular query, we are telling SQL Server to do table B join with table A. Let me execute this and see the execution plan. Even if you tell SQL Server that join table B with table A, still SQL Server selects table A first as an outer table for hash match and table B later as an inner table for hash match. So we'll discuss about hash match, nested and merge in another video. But in this case, SQL Server is accessing on, even though we have told SQL Server to access table B first. So SQL Server will decide on its own which table to access first. Let me force SQL Server to access data in the same order which we mentioned in inner join query. So let me execute this using this force order hint. I'm forcing SQL Server to use the access the tables in the order we mentioned. So right now SQL Server access the data in the order that we mentioned. So let me execute these two statements together and check the performance impact. So these two statements I have executed together, and if I check the performance impact, there is no performance impact even though the table order is reversed. So just because these two tables are very small, there is no performance impact. But if our tables are very big and data is very huge, then accessing data in different order will make an impact. So that is another example I am showing you in a while in another demo. So that's all for this demo. Let me go back to my slides again. Let us see one more real-time example in AdventureWorks database. So if you see a table person.person table having few records, and we also have another table called person.person phone. So we have these two tables here, and whenever the business entity ID matches, we need to get first name also and respective phone number. If we want to get this kind of an output, we need to perform inner join between these two tables. So to perform inner join between these two tables, this will be our select query. So let me show this in action. This is the query where we are performing inner join between person.person table and person.person phone table. So let me execute this query under AdventureWorks database context to get output as expected. So this is how we perform inner join to get output result set. Now we have got first name and phone number column as well. So let me do one more thing. So we can also apply more than one condition at on class. So if you want to filter out our output result set even more further, so we can put up another condition near on filter. So right now we are getting phone number and first name whenever business entity ID matches. Now we can also filter the people whose first name starting with L. So if you execute this particular query, we'll get all the first names starting with, we'll only get first name starting with L. So this is another example. We can also further filter down this result set using where condition as well. So now we can apply one more where filter to get result set only when business entity ID between 100 and 1000. We have further filtered down our result set. So these are the few filtering conditions which we can apply while doing inner joins. So let me show you what happens when we are joining multiple tables together. So this is how we have to tell SQL Server whenever we are joining multiple tables. So right now we are joining production.product table and sales.sales order detail table, sales order header table and sales.customer table. So if you perform inner join between multiple tables, how SQL Server executes? SQL Server will first execute this particular query, meaning it will first perform inner join between any two tables, and then it will take another table, perform inner join between the result set we have got earlier and this inner table. This is how SQL Server will perform inner join. So let me execute this one. So we have got few columns by performing this thing. So we can also specify on condition at the end like this manner. This is another syntax while performing inner join. So let me execute this also. This will also produce same output. So let me execute these two statements together to see will it cause any performance difference or not. So I have executed these two queries together and I'm waiting. So our execution is about to complete, so it's completed now. So if you compare these two execution plans, both of the execution plans are identical to each other and there is no performance impact if you see 50% versus 50%. But the point to be noted here is, if you observe in our query we have mentioned production.product table first and SQL Server is accessing production.product table first. In the same order we have mentioned sales order detailed, but SQL Server is not accessing sales order detail, instead it is accessing customer table. What is going on here? So whenever we are performing inner join, as we all know, performing inner join between table A and table B is equal to performing inner join between table B and table A. SQL Server can alter all the table access whichever way SQL Server thinks it can execute faster. So it can alter the tables and fetch the data to give faster output results. So let me force SQL Server and tell SQL Server that access all the tables in the way I mentioned in the query. So first you have to access product table, then sales order detail, then customer, then sales order header. If you tell SQL Server, if you force SQL Server to execute all the tables in the order we mentioned, SQL Server will do it. If you observe the output result set, SQL Server is accessing all the data sets, all the tables in the order we mentioned till select query. So let me compare the performance. So whenever we are forcing SQL Server using force order hint, and whenever SQL Server is deciding on its own how to access datasets. Let me execute these two queries together. And let me wait for this execution plan to come out. So this execution plan is almost out. Yes. So if you observe, the query which we force took a bit more time and it performed a bit bad than the query that SQL Server selects. So the upper one, the execution plan that SQL Server usually selects, and the below one, we force SQL Server to execute this way. So forcing SQL Server is not a better option to consider. So let me show you one more thing, which is a non-equi join, which is not frequently used one, but it is there. So it's just like whenever we use other than equal to operator in the condition here, then it will become automatically a non-equi join. So here what we are joining person.person table with its same person.person table, and what we are doing is we are fetching out all the names, first names which are same, and business entity IDs are not equal. If you execute this particular query, these are the names which are equal, first names are equal, but business entity IDs are different. So this is all about inner joins. Thank you for your time. You can follow me on Twitter at satyaramesh230, and you can also follow SQL Maestros at @SQL Maestros. Thank you for your time. See you in another video.